Lucky.
Yeah, we good.
Okay. All right. Shalom.
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 First off, give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh,
How?
Shai, Ba'ashem, Hakadash. And give double honors to our apostles, double honors to our elders, a great millstone that taught us truth and will well. And salutations to your hopeful elect person is truth and all honesty and sincerity. We the brothers out of GMS Kansas City camp, because no lesson through the spirit power, Yahweh Shai. Giving another update in times and events. There's a lot of stuff going on in the world right now as far as the building up of the prophecies that we can find in the book of Second Esdras and various spots throughout the scriptures that, talk about, the people rising up against the established order in the government, with all these riots and protests. And a lot of this stuff is orchestrated as well. There's a lot of information coming out about these people having paid actors amongst that group to basically escalate the situation, man. And this is definitely something to keep an eye on, because not only that, the United States tends to capitalize on events like this in other countries. And what they do is they'll have somebody to cause that event or that riot to get extremely violent and do some shit. So you can't put it past all these other nations that are at ends with America that they could possibly do the same thing, man. We could, depending on how far they want to take this thing, it can get as bad as like a 9/11 type event, So it's something definitely keep watch. But nonetheless, the prophets have warned you people that these things were going to happen, and now it's happening. So I told you so is an understatement, man.
Somebody bring out what precepts y'all got? Y'all got precepts. Bring out the first precept, and we'll piggyback off that.
Okay, yeah. This is the book of Second Esdras, chapter 15, starting at verse 14. It says, "Woe to the world and them that dwell therein, for the sword and their destruction draweth nigh."
Hey, Salakia, brother, can you start at verse 1, Baba Kusha?
Yeah, Khan. This is Second Esdras 15 from the top. It says, "Behold, speak thou in the ears of my people the words of prophecy, which I will put in thy mouth, saith the Lord." It says, "And cause them to be written in paper, for they are faithful and true. Fear not the imaginations against them. Let not the incredulity of them trouble thee that speak against thee."
Yeah, it says it's faithful and true, because what the prophets wrote and what they foretold was commissioned to write down. And this is what we have with the scriptures, the scrolls, the scriptures, the Bible, Tanakh, whatever you want to call it. The men in the Lord prophesied these things through divine inspiration of the Heavenly Father, had visions, and they wrote these things down. So the men in the Lord saw civil unrest, protests, and also they saw our people facing a time of great persecution that we're getting ready to enter in, because these riots and so forth, George Soros riots, or these government orchestrated riots through these particular NGOs, there's a higher agenda at hand. And you got to remember, going back to 2023, hold on. You got to remember, going back to 2023, why do we got six? Hold on.
Yeah, that's just that's share the screen.
Okay.
When we need to. The GMS one is going to be like a generic.
Yeah, cool. So anyway, so going back to 2023, when this whole border shit that they was complaining about how the Democrats let all the borders and the migrants over here, but that was all part of the psyop, man. All right, they've been letting people in this country for the last 20 plus years. So that whole, well, we got illegal migrants in here, we got to find out how to get them out, that was all a ploy just to be justified on rolling on the tribes, man. Anybody that has any working brain or any type of spiritual mindset can see that this has all been set up to target the tribes, because remember, they had Hamitic nationals up here, they got Chinese nationals, people from Ukraine, they got people from Yugoslavia, people from fucking Afghanistan. But nobody's shedding the light on these other heathens, but the light is on Jake, because this is the time of Jacob's trouble. And this is coming. It's going to come to a neighborhood near you. And you so-called blacks out there, you Negro tribes, consist of Judah, Benjamin, and Levi. Hey, you ain't off the hook, man. Because when they come gunning for your ass, you better believe that that's when the live ammunition is going to really take effect. All right, keep going, bro.
Yeah, verse 2 Ezra 15 and 4, it says, "For all the unfaithful shall die in faithfulness,
Mm-hmm.
Behold, saith the Lord, I will bring plagues upon the world, the sword, famine, death, and destruction.
The sword, famine, death, and destruction. So all these things are going to transpire simultaneously, man. Because a video came out that a cyber attack hit certain Whole Foods in the country, and now their shelves are empty. You see, and we already talked about the manufacturer famine. You know, the fact that Esau was going to use particular black swan events, or it's another term that they use. Not black swan, but it's another term that they use about a list of unfortunate events that was going to steamroll and plunge this society into chaos. And it looked like DJ,
Multi-crisis.
what is it called, bro?
Multi-crisis.
Multi-crisis. There you go.
The poly crisis. Yeah,
Poly-crisis. Yeah,
Poly-crisis. Yeah, that's the word. Kind of
yeah,
Salakia.
yeah. And they
yeah,
openly said that.
yeah.
You know.
They openly said it, and then they're putting it out in front of you. But yeah, you got people still believe, oh, this is just some conspiracy. No, this is Esau or the Most High allowing his devil to go in head first for the New World Order, because what they're trying to do is reset everything, man. While simultaneously putting people inside of a credit-based system, which will be aided by Palantir and Stargate, to lock up the tribes, man, and put FEMA, put chips inside you, man. That's what it's all about.
Mm-hmm.
If you don't see it, then that's on you. Don't fucking blame us.
That's right.
Go ahead.
On it says, verse 6, for wickedness hath exceedingly polluted the whole earth, and their hurtful works are fulfilled. Therefore saith the Lord, I will hold my tongue no more as touching their wickedness, which they profanely commit. Neither will I suffer them in those things in which they wickedly exercise themselves.
Yeah, the Lord said he ain't gonna hold his tongue no more touching his wickedness, because if you look at this society needs to be purged, man. You got a bunch of undesirables here. You got a bunch of hoes, a bunch of sluts, a bunch of UINs. I mean, the best thing the Lord can do is bring hell on this place, man. Like, I was
Trey.
meditating today. I'm just like, you know what? I'm ready to start seeing the plagues. I'm ready to start seeing the supernatural happen. Fuck all this synthetic, convoluted shit on the left hand side with Esau fucking with the weather and doing all this wickedness that way. I want to start seeing supernatural intervention, man. Rivers turning into water. I mean, blood. The eclipses, solar eclipses coming out of nowhere, man. Wild animals, spirits walking upon the earth, judging people, man. Because this devil, bro, he just in the way. He needs to be taken out of power, man. He's just in the fucking way.
Mm-hmm. It says, in which they wickedly exercise themselves. Behold, the innocent and righteous blood cried unto me, and the souls of the just complain continually.
And that's the men of the Lord. That's the brothers you see on the panels, us putting out these shows. We're complaining day by day. How long? Like I was talking to brother earlier, man. I was in a meeting, and I'm like, how the hell am I in a meeting with 90% of women that don't know they ass from a hole in the wall, man? It's all a facade. It's all fake. They go to work, they put themselves on display like they got it under control, but literally when they get off work, they're popping depression pills like Skittles, man.
Mm-hmm.
It's sad, and we got to be subjugated to this wickedness, man. It's getting old.
Okay.
It says, verse 9, and therefore saith the Lord, I will surely avenge them and receive unto me all the innocent blood from among them. Because, scriptures also say, the dealing with the prophets, give the Lord no break, give him no rest until he make Jerusalem a praise in all the earth. So now going into Jacob's trouble, now we in those times for this manifest and everything that the prophets have been warning you about through the scriptures, man. All right. It says, verse 10, it says, behold, my people is led as a flock to the slaughter. I will not suffer them now to dwell in the land of Egypt.
Yep. Egypt is America, man. Anybody that have spiritual ears, Egypt is America. Spiritual Egypt. It says, I will not suffer them to dwell in the land of Egypt, because the purge is getting ready to come. Because what we found out is that Donald Trump deployed 700 Marines, which you're not supposed to deploy a standing military on U.S. soil against U.S. citizens. That's against the Constitution, let alone a National Guard to protect federal interests, when in fact you already set up the agitators to go out there and do what they're doing. It's like you created the problem, you coming with the reaction, now you coming with the solution. Because 9 times out of 10, them people out there, they're paid agitators, man. Posts went out that they were paying up to $12,500 a week to get people out there to loot and riot and protest.
Yeah.
And the governor of Missouri actually activated the National Guard, and there's not even any. I mean, you have people marching, but you can't even call that a protest. How you have in major cities. So
Yeah.
obviously, a agenda is at play here, man.
And you know that goes into what brothers was doing lessons on. I forget the name of it, but he passed that law like a month or two ago, basically giving him authority, you know, to use the military and activate them. You know, so that's why he's doing this shit. That's it falls into place perfectly. Because when he did that, I wish I could remember the name of the act or something that it was called.
Insurrection Act.
The Alien Insurrection Act.
Yeah. So he and it was other ones like
Big
based
Beautiful.
off of
Different one.
no, not Big Beautiful Bill. It was another one based off of some type of year, like 17 something. I can't remember what it was.
Yeah, Alien Enemy Act of 1789.
Yep, there it is. Yep. So he basically just said that, hey, look, I can use the military at any time to go ahead and force this shit. So he did that specifically at that time for planning for this exact event, man.
Oh well, shit, bro. Did y'all get the text message? It's called No Kings Protest, and every goddamn city in America is supposed to be protesting on Saturday. And Trump said it. He said, anybody want to protest, we gonna meet them with extreme force.
They calling it the Day of Defiance, and it's not only nationwide; it's really global. They doing that in Europe, Canada, and at the same time, Trump is holding a military parade, which also falls on his, I think they said like 79th birthday.
Yeah.
Remember how fast them George Floyd protests spread? That was why I went worldwide, you know, and that was about this time last year, like June of 2020.
Yep.
Well, and you got these events that are funded by fucking Soros and shit. That's how they spreading so damn fast.
Well, they bought it out that No Kings protest allegedly. Her name is Christy Walton, which is the granddaughter of Sam. I think she was married into the Waltons, but allegedly Walmart is so-called funding these protests behind closed doors. Because remember, Trump went in on Walmart, the CEOs. He said, well, look, man, y'all made more money than what y'all was supposed to. Y'all can bite the cost. Why y'all raising prices? Because they clapped back at Trump for the tariffs, but he like, y'all can bite the cost. Y'all a multi-billion-dollar corporation, and quite frankly, y'all made too much money. So now, allegedly, this is some type of retaliatory event that's being head by the Waltons, which the Waltons are government informants, because going back to World War II, when they signed off internment camps and housed those Japanese in the internment camps for those 3 years, I believe, Sam Walton's name was on the brochures, man. So he has contracts with the government, that whole corporation. So anything Fortune 500, Walmart, Amazon, Whole Foods, whatever, they're all in tandem with this elite, with the elites, man. And not to mention, they having a fucking summit out there in Sweden, June 12th through the 15th, about world events. So, and then this guy from Alex, what's his name? Alex from Palantir, the CEO. And then you got this guy by the name of what's this motherfucker's name, man? Peter Thiel, and you got the Alex
Kurtzman or something like that.
Yeah. They're all gonna be at this so-called summit out in Sweden for the 3 days. So something big is on the pipe, man. Yeah. But what you were saying, y'all, was stop Alien Enemies Act of 1789. It says the Enemies Act of 1789 is not the same of a specific law, but rather a general concept related to the power of the president to detain or deport aliens during wartime. Wait a minute. Time of war or national emergencies. The specific act most often associated with this power is the Alien Enemies Act of 1798, which is still in effect today.
So, and he's basically orchestrating a national emergency right now. You know, by them orchestrating these riots, and they're doing it nationwide, city to city. If they get as bad as they doing in LA in multiple cities, that's going to be considered a national emergency, man. He's going to, you know, completely place this place under civil war, damn near.
Yeah, when you sent the text earlier, was it Missouri declared state of emergency already? Without any protests yet?
And Missouri's not even violent at all. They literally like MLK, like watered down level. Like there ain't shit going on. They're not even in the streets. Like they standing behind the fucking street barriers and shit. They completely
at the plaza.
Right.
Yep. But it says the purpose, the act grants the president broad authority to detain or deport aliens, specifically those who are citizens, or subjects of a nation at war with the United States. So they can say, well, look, man, we've been in war with the cartel, then we got to get y'all out of here. Or we've been in war with uh what's the name of that Central American country that they put the tariffs on a long time ago, that they was eating flamingos, Venezuela, that shit.
Venezuela.
Yeah. And it says the act can be invoked when the president declares a war or when a foreign nation threatens to invasion of the United States. And basically, Trump has declared himself a dictator, a king. So we're gonna see where this is gonna go. But I believe this is gonna set the precedent for the year to come. Just my humble opinion. But you can keep going in that second address, bro. And whatever precepts y'all got, shit, let them roll, brothers.
Con. Yes, a little bit more on that. Second Ezra 15:10. It says, "Behold, my people is led as a flock to the slaughter. I will not suffer them now to dwell in the land of Egypt, but I will bring them with a mighty hand and a stretched out arm, and smite Egypt with plagues as before,
Mm-hmm.
and will destroy all the land thereof."
Yeah, those plagues are basically going to repeat themselves, but like times 10, you know? Brother, is there an echo? Y'all hear me?
Now you
Okay,
good.
kind.
Nah, I
Because
don't
I
hear
was
none.
going to back that up in 2nd Ezra 16:37. It says, "Behold, the plagues draw nigh and are not slack." So as much as we ready for this to pop off, the scriptures say they're not slack, but that means they're primed and they're ready. There's no stopping what's coming. They think this is just you can be solved by voting or political means, but this is the Lord stirring things up, man, because He's about to destroy this place.
Yep.
Yep. Verse 12, it says, "Egypt shall mourn, and the foundation of it shall be smitten with the plague and punishment that the Most High shall bring upon it." It says, "They that till the ground shall mourn, for their seed shall fail through the blasting and hail, and with the fearful constellation."
All right, well, in that previous verse it mentioned Egypt, right? That means captivity. So you blacks, Hispanics, Native Americans, you need to realize what position you in. This is never the home land of the free and home of the brave, man. This definitely
Mhm.
wasn't a place for you to fucking kick it. I'll
Right.
never forget when the apostle said, America is a death camp for you tribes, man. And now
Yep.
you are literally seeing that. There's no avenues for happiness and peace for you Israelites here now. All right. That shit is all cut off and gone.
Mhm.
So now is about to be the time where you're gonna meet cruelty, sorrow, and it's gonna come through the hands of the so-called white man.
Mm-hmm.
Right. That's right.
All right, brother.
Verse 14, it says, "Woe to the world and them that dwell therein. For the sword and their destruction draweth nigh, and one people shall stand up and fight against another, and swords in their hands."
Yeah, and we're seeing that, man. Agent provocateurs, bro. Trump said that you go out there and protest, but don't wear a mask. Like, what kind of shit is that? I mean, my thing is, you gonna lock me up for not wearing a mask, or you gonna lock me up for throwing a brick at a cop's SUV?
Right.
It's straight
Right.
that it's something fishy going on here, and everybody is speaking on it. Richie from Boston, redacted. Everybody has been calling this stuff out, man. But you still got peons out there. And wait a minute, why aren't you Hebrew Israelites hopping on this, man?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Why is GMS the only one that's reporting on actual events that's taking place in the world based on biblical prophecy, man?
Yeah.
it's
Everybody else
true.
they got their heads up their ass. They're trying to debate. They're trying to get more money, gimmicks. It's just
Yeah,
like when you Jakes are gonna wake the hell up and realize like we're in a time of great purging, man. That sooner than
yeah,
later we're not gonna be able to go out on the streets and declare this message in a little while.
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
We be
Jake
taking off
making
the street,
videos how to get your wife in order.
right?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Leave that bitch, man.
yeah. We passed that, man. Like that's done. That's smoke and mirrors, man. A woman ain't gonna get an order into the kingdom. We've
Right.
accepted that fact a long time ago. But the thing is, it's going to come a time that because, like the brother said, Trump already have legislation. Like when he first came into the office, the only thing he was doing was this signing. He was
Hmm.
showing.
Get that
We don't.
sharpie.
Yeah.
Get
Yeah.
We
that
Yeah.
sharpie.
It's on it.
Hmm.
we don't know what all he signed, man, outside of what he didn't told the
Yeah,
people.
yeah,
You better believe that bill speaking out against the small hats and freedom of speech. You better believe that all that's on the books because once again, Palantir will be used to mass surveillance American citizens, and with mass surveillance comes a silence of speech, man. So we're not gonna be able to go out to the streets in a little while. We may be taken off the streets before the end of the year. We don't know, you know.
yeah. And I don't want to take it and run with it, Doc, but consider this is only year one, man. He's only been in
Yeah,
office 6 months, and look how the
6 months,
country
bro.
looks.
Yeah. Hey, and low key, I think the reason he said that
Point.
no mask is because they want to test that Palantir technology.
Yeah.
Over there in Gaza, they can just scan your face and your ass is in a database, man. You out there looting and shit, he got your ass.
Oh
All in
shit.
one spot.
Did you see the video earlier Apostle Tara uploaded about the Northern Kingdom chick? She said they came and they didn't even act. They asked for ID, but they didn't need a fingerprint. She said they scanned her face and they uploaded her ass in a database.
See,
Yeah.
Mhm.
and they got everything, medical records. They gonna pair it up to IRS. You on the
Yep.
LLC,
Yep.
okay? You was texting too many hoes. They got all of that shit, man.
Real ID.
Yeah,
You 3 months late on your taxes. Up. We gotta find you.
right. But the fishy part, because they already had this data, but they're announcing it now. Because they getting people used to. They're about to sell it to you. Why this is a good thing, like they did in the Patriot Act back in 2003. Oh, we got to fight the Tias. That's why we need all your information. We got to spy on you. You know.
Yeah. Yeah. Because you notice a year later, after 2001, then that's when the Homeland Security was established in 2022. I mean 2002. I think September 2002, that's when Homeland Security was established. After that, false flag in 9/11.
Yep.
Mhm.
Yep. ICE came out of that too. I think ICE is a subdivision of Homeland
Homeland
Security.
Security. Yep. Which all of them
Yeah,
is
it is.
not constitutional, by the way. ICE is not a constitutional. IRS, none of that shit is constitutional, man. And the crazy part about it is that according to the Constitution, if you have a tyrannical government, the people have a right to overthrow it. So people
Yep.
are not in the wrong spirit for wanting their freedoms and to protest. They're not in the wrong spirit, but you got a corrupt system that's gonna come down with great wrath on the people because now draconianism, a dystopia. This is what we're getting ready to enter into, and starting with you tribes, man, because Esau is getting ready to come down heavy on you Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans, man. Just
Mhm.
watch. Y'all got it.
A couple. Oh, you
Yep.
got it.
Just a quick precept. This is the book of 2nd Esdras, chapter 9, verse 1. It says, He answered me then and said, Measure thou the time diligently in itself, and when thou seest part of the signs pass, which I have told thee before, then shalt thou understand that it is the very same time wherein the highest will begin to visit the world which he made. Therefore, when there shall be seen earthquakes and uproars of the people in the world, then shalt thou will understand that the Most High spake of those things from the days that were before thee, even from the beginning. You
Yep.
know, that point there is the uproars of the people, and not only that, but earthquakes too. There's other articles that came out. There's been so many earthquakes that have been happening within this past week too, all over the world. You
Really?
know, yep. And then also you got uproars of the people. Obviously that's with these protests, and we haven't seen this scale or magnitude of the many jakes out there protesting is basically just since the fucking 60s, man. They protested a little bit during George Floyd, but it wasn't on this magnitude like we about to see this weekend.
Yeah,
Well,
they said
Lord's
since
willing.
Selma in Alabama in like the '60s.
Uh,
well, it says ICE to deploy tactical units in major U.S. cities as protests spread nationwide, man. So you got protests in Chicago, you got protests in Texas, Michigan, New York. Hell, you got protesters here in Missouri. You got shit, bro. Saturday they gonna be protesting in I think Lenexa, Overland Park, and in the Plaza.
mm,
St. Louis, they're gonna be doing it all over the place, man. I even heard some shit about Worlds of Fun. I don't know how to fact check that, but I mean, yeah, it's to the point that Esau Edom can really come down with great wrath, man. It's something that they're getting ready to do to the point that we're gonna really have to be circumspect. And I'm contemplating I mean, I think Saturday we'll be good where we at. But even then, you know what I'm saying, just being circumspect on our surroundings and maybe probably ducking off more in the cut, man. Because, anything that looks like a protest, they're going to put the Scopeo on. And you already know you may have simple ass Israelites out there in the midst of these protests with fringes on, throwing bricks and bottles, man. And that's going
Hmm.
to, by default, lump us up into this whole ordeal. Like with
yeah,
the matter of fact, the Sakari You remember a couple of months ago when dude
Yeah,
got
yeah.
caught thing? Yeah,
They was out there.
they was out there.
Hmm.
Mhm.
Yeah.
You know,
And that's
Yeah.
that's a stumbling block, man. That's how you don't know they're not measuring the time diligently. Because if you knew what was coming, man, you wouldn't be in their spirit.
Right,
You know?
because with Trump saying, "Hey, look, he's about to send the military with force against these protests," we can expect some clashes to go down, man. We can expect certain highways probably get shut down. You know, I mean, we just see what's going on with LA.
online business.
So if
Yeah,
y'all
hey,
think we're
kind of
in trouble,
not to interrupt y'all, brothers, but as we started this lesson, breaking news: Israel launches airstrikes against Iran.
Oh, there you
It's
go.
happening now,
Hey, call
literally
lawyer, how about you me
15
on
minutes
shot?
ago.
I just did a lesson about how they about to get that shit popping, man.
See,
Yep,
You
Israel
know,
airstrikes on Iran
bro. And
just
like you
came out.
said, Trump only been in this thing 6 months, bro. And all
yeah,
he been doing is signing,
Tearing it up.
signing. And niggas are just clapping like monkeys, like they don't know what's going on. They think the tariffs is a good idea still, like everything is just they're just confounded, you
this
know?
shit through, brothers. This shit
Yeah,
through, bro.
into World War III.
Yeah,
Yep.
because that what just happened. Now it depends if they launched them inline or did they attack some weapon depots. Did it say?
Well, they actually reporting from Tehran, the capital.
Oh shit! See,
damn.
yeah,
See,
and them small has been itching to get at them Iranians, man.
bro, for
They've
a
been
minute.
trying to get America to bag them up. America like, nah, we don't want no smoke. So basically,
Yeah.
what Israel just did, because now Russia is gonna have to be on high alert now because they said that Iran can get up to 800 ballistic warheads from Russia or China to back them up. So now Russia gonna be on high alert, and you already know BB is already on the phone with Trump. Like, look, what you gonna do? Because
Hmm.
BB ain't gonna be like, look, we ain't trying to hear that. Hey, Israel give you the call, get the troops ready. You
Yeah,
ain't gonna be able to
Yep.
protest that shit, man. You going to
Yeah,
war,
because
buddy.
they tried to play it cool with Trump and them nuclear talks. That shit didn't go through. Iran
hell
said,
no.
fuck that shit. And you know what? 3 days later, this shit happened.
Yeah,
Hey,
because you know what? They took the notes from Gaddafi. They told Gaddafi, "Hey, look, get rid of your weapons. Just play ball with us." And what did they do? They brought his ass out in the street, but they sodomized him with a knife, bro, in front of his own people.
yep,
Hmm.
Just for listening to him. So they saw how Gaddafi went out. They not going. They know what y'all want, man.
yep. And Trump even said it. He said he was very pessimistic about the nuclear talk with Iran. He said, I don't think they're gonna even consider taking it off the table. They're not gonna do it because according to Joel, the scriptures say, "Let the weak say I'm strong, let the mighty men of war." Roughly paraphrasing, it goes into "Let the men of war be brought near." So this is the
Hmm.
time of war, and it's no coincidence that while all these protests are happening, they just bomb fucking Iran, the economic collapse, and this Palantir shit, chip, orchestrated famine, cyber attacks. I mean, we in it, brothers. It's just a matter of
Con,
letting it play out, man.
Con.
I got a precept.
Yeah, you got it, bro.
This is this is Jeremiah 30, verse 11. It says, "For I am with thee, saith the Lord Yahweh Bashim Yahushai. Though I make a full end of all the nations where I have scattered thee, yet will I not make a full end of thee. But I will correct thee in measure, and I will not leave thee altogether unpunished."
Yeah.
You see,
Uh,
that's why it's called Jacob's trouble. It's a big ass correction for these badass niggas, man. But
yeah.
it ain't like Beyond Scared Straight where you spend the night in jail and go back to the hood. Nah, the Lord gonna correct you by killing you, man.
That's right. Hey, go up to verse 5.
All right, give me
Just read that. Cool.
give me a second. This Jeremiah 30 verses 5. It says, "For thus saith the Lord." Ooh, yeah, yeah, good one. "For thus saith the Lord Yahweh Bashim Yahushai, we have heard a voice of trembling, of fear, and not of peace."
Yeah, see, if they were really in their spirit, they wouldn't be out there holding picket signs, running around there with protesters, you know, because they
Hmm.
would understand the Lord. This shit is about to get way worse than they publicize on the news, man. People about to starve out. People about to get done dirty, you know.
Mm.
Hmm.
Yeah, see
Say,
that, and
sorry.
remember, they thought that shit was just with George Floyd. They thought that was gonna be in one city, but that shit was all over Europe, Germany, Australia,
Yep,
and
yep.
it took like only a few days.
Hmm.
Yep, I'm reading. It says Israel has launched strikes in Iran. AXOs reported, citing two sources, multiple explosions heard in Tehran.
That's the
We,
capital.
yep, that's the capital right there, man. So, hey, and Trump was even saying it today that within days they can attack Iran, but they're not gonna offer military support because this bitch ass nigga's afraid of Russia. He rather put hell on his own citizens, but yet Russia is calling your punk ass out, and you ain't trying to do nothing about it, nigga. That's your global threat right there. Not a bunch of
Sure.
slow belly fat people that don't want to get off their ass and pay taxes. These people ain't no fucking Americans. Ain't no real threat, man.
Mm-hmm.
So they're not gonna be a threat until you take the food, which the famine is getting ready to come too.
Yep.
That's right.
So hey, brothers, man, hold the line, hold the line, stay on point, stay
Mm-hmm.
circumspect, stay prayed up, and hey, you finna be Scott home in a minute, man.
Yes, sir.
A little bit more.
Go ahead.
Jeremiah 30 and 5. For thus saith the Lord Yahweh Bashim Shai, we have heard a voice of trembling, of fear, and not of peace. Ask ye and see whether a man doth travail with child. Wherefore do I see every man with his hands on his loins, as a woman in travail, and all faces are turned into paleness.
Mm-hmm.
Alas, for that day is great, so that none is like it. It is even the time of Jacob's trouble, but he shall be saved out of it.
Yep, you
Yep.
notice it said concerning Israel and concerning Judah. So, hey, you notice it named Israel first, which is the northern kingdom, and Judah. So, when the
Yeah. Yeah.
brunt of this shit comes, it's gonna really hit the Negro neighborhood the hardest, man,
Yep.
because it's going to a point in time that these protests they're gonna get deadly. They're gonna use live ammunition eventually when things get out of hand. Because I
Yeah.
believe when he deployed the military, I believe they actually had armed weapons. I don't think they displayed them, but I can quite think that they had armed weapons down there because I mean, why wouldn't they? In case somebody
Yeah.
gets stupid.
They said that with that Marine that got interviewed. I beat the brother on Harold Indignation posted it.
Mm,
He was giving the insight. He said Marine, they just carried the 5.56 rounds. You know what I'm saying?
mm-hmm.
Rubber bullets is really for like local law enforcement and things. So if you got Marines out there, they got live ammunition. You
Yeah,
know.
and
Yep, sure do.
it's not against the possibility that they incite, through these protests, through these paid agitators, somebody can go out there and shoot blanks and be justified on firing on the crowd
Right.
because y'all
Right.
saw when they shot that reporter with the rubber bullet, they smacked her, he aimed right at her
Yeah.
and he popped
Yeah.
her.
Oh, you had another one. They popped one lady in the head with a rubber bullet, bro. She was
Yeah,
leaking,
it's
bro.
on
She had
camera.
blood everywhere.
Yeah.
They were like, "You did this,"
Yeah.
but
And
he
them
he
rubber
just
bullets
popped
hurt,
her ass.
bro. Them rubber
Yeah, them
bullets
shit
will
hurt.
put you to spur. Them shits are projectiles, man.
Yeah,
God.
that
Yeah,
shit
it puts
hurt,
you out.
man. Yeah,
Yeah.
brother can grab that Zechariah 9.
Yeah. And let's get some of these videos going too, man. Some of these protests. So get the brothers
Con,
some illustrations of it.
con.
It's Jacob's trouble, man. It's finna get bad for you niggas and you women. You women are through, man.
Yeah, kind.
If you want to let the GMS one share screen, then I'll see if the sound work.
All right, yeah, yeah. It should be on here already.
Yeah, you got to make it full screen, my lawyer. Make that GMS. Yeah, there you go. Kind.
Is it it's the other one, other GM. You see it? My screen on it.
Hold on.
It might be backstage in the studio. I have to
Nah,
take
Con.
this one off because the one you got now, Ak, is only showing the icon.
yeah, that's it. Hold on. Let me fix this camera real quick. Yeah, it's not in the. Hold on. We got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 6. Oh, okay. I'll see. Let me do this. Let me, add this to the stage. This one here. There we go.
Can
This
y'all
one.
hear this?
Yeah, we can't hear it though.
Yeah, we can't hear you.
Can't hear it.
No.
No.
Hold on.
But even if we can't hear it, I mean, we can still talk while that's playing. I mean,
Yeah,
you
the
know,
visual within itself.
yeah, it speaks
This
numbers.
ain't a This ain't a peaceful Saturday.
Nah, But see, that's just some agent provocateur shit. Because if you pay attention to the screenshots and the thumbnails, it's like somebody said pose for the camera and them niggas throwing up gang
Hmm.
signs and shit.
And they're
And where the
using
hell
that,
they
and they're recycling that picture too.
yeah. And where the hell they get all these Mexican flags from, bro? And
Exactly.
then they show one video that in the backdrop it was like a pile of bricks. Same thing with the
Hmm.
Floyd riots. The pile of bricks,
Hmm.
man.
Hmm.
Then a post went out showing that they was actually paying people. You got people getting paid 50 bands a month. That's more than a yearly salary from some people out there doing that shit, man.
Yeah, time.
Finished on that second editorial, car.
This is Second Ezra chapter 15, verse 15. It says, "For the sword and their destruction draweth nigh, and one people shall stand up and fight against another, and swords in their hands."
Mm-hmm.
Verse 16, it says, "For there shall be sedition among men, and invading one another."
Yeah,
They
sedition among men. Now, when you look up the definition of sedition, I'm gonna get the definition of sedition real quick, bro. But you can keep running. You can keep reading.
Okay, Con, it says, "For there shall be sedition among men, and invading one another. They shall not regard their kings nor princes. In the course of their actions shall stand in their power." And it's no coincidence that this whole nationwide protest that to sweep through the country is no king. You know,
Yeah, yeah.
calling that shit no kings and day of defiance, man. And it's no and also too, man, this is all staged, man. Because Israel just launched that strike on Iran. Don't be surprised if they got some another fucking 9/11 type event play out, during all this chaos, man. You
Mm.
know, we know all those sleeper cells is still over here. You know, all of that shit, man. This shit about to go down.
Yep.
Yep.
Definition of sedition, it says the conduct of speech inciting people to rebel against the authority of a state or a monarch. And in this case, they're forcing the people's hand because these riots are not organic. Now you may have like certain organic shit in there by default, but overall, there was videos that went out and mentioned that the police was inciting people. Like it was one when they was in a traffic stop, they said that the police was tear gas and women and kids and families and stuff like that, and it kind of caused a reaction out of the people. So they're provoking people down there, and like shit like this, that's an agent provocateur, man. Those
Hmm.
are
Yeah.
agents, bro. Those are probably CIA,
They
FBI,
getting that
cops.
bag.
Yeah, hell yeah, they out there, man. Because where the fuck these people come from? And then some of them don't even look like Issachar, bro.
Hmm.
But now you're gonna start seeing people travel to
Mm-hmm.
participate in these things. They
Mm-hmm.
already got the let me find a quick video. They got the Trump train, which
Mm.
is a whole bunch of Edomites in these pickup trucks that are, traveling,
Mm.
and to support that shit. Uh,
Yeah, they got this
yeah,
shit
I
set
can't find it.
for a civil war, man. That division, because on one hand, you got the people in support of the ICE protests, and then on the other hand, you got the Trump supporters who pretty much like get them the fuck up out of here, man. And so they got the parade going on at the same time as a fucking all these protests. And they staged this shit perfectly, man.
Okay.
Like it,
Yep.
Anybody got a scripture?
it was a little more if you didn't have that.
Okay, go ahead.
Uh, Second Ezra 15, I'll grab 16 again. It says, "For there shall be sedition among men and invading one another. They shall not regard their kings nor princes, and the course of their actions shall stand in their power." It
Right,
says,
because what's crazy is that secretly a lot of Latinos support Trump. A
Yeah,
lot
they
of
said
so,
over
bro,
almost
there's
60% of them, bro, voted for him.
that's what I'm saying. That's what's crazy, right? A lot of these niggas is cool with what's going down, but they being quiet about it. And that's really
Yeah.
going because we always speak of Jacob versus Esau, but once again, it's gonna be Jake splitting up amongst themselves due to all this politics and why it's going down, man.
mhm. Verse 17, it says, "A man desire to go into a city and shall not be able." Hey, they locked it down, man, Marshall. You know, it
And
said,
this is why they lay the groundwork for 15-minute cities, because
Yeah.
they don't
mhm,
want people just driving cars with gas. They want everything electronic. They want everything trackable. They want you in certain areas. They want to monitor everything. you know,
Yep.
and they
Yep.
want to create this unrest to scare people, you know.
Yeah. Hegelian dialectics, pressure from above, pressure from beneath. I was listening to that book 1984 by George Orwell, and it basically went into how they want to totalitarian. They want everything to be on a surveillance state. It's all about ultimate control because the New World Order. So Esau is
Mhm.
on the move. Remember, they got that 20 or 30 agenda. That's even if they make it that far. But the way Trump going, like you brothers mentioned, 6 months until the whole, and he's already turned the country upside down. I mean,
Yeah,
he. I mean, shit. If this place isn't in full fledged chaos by next year, I will be highly surprised, man.
All
Yeah,
right.
For
yeah,
real.
because it was under Trump too, with the whole lockdown the first time around. But he was the one who out with that Operation Warp Speed,
Yep.
get shit moving quickly.
yep.
Yep.
That's
Con,
right.
I got a quick precept real quick, Baba Kusha. This is the book of Jeremiah 6, and I'm gonna start at verses 22. And it says, Thus says the Lord, behold, a people coming from the north country, and a great nation should be raised from the sides of the earth, and they shall lay hold on bow and spear. They are cruel and have no mercy, and their voice roared like the sea, and they ride upon horses, set in array as men of war against thee, O daughter of Zion. So that right there shows you that there are going to be troops assembled to these inner cities to lock you jakes up, man, and to unalive a lot of you, man, because the scriptures go into as a madman sparing none, but still spoiling and destroying those that fear the Lord.
Right.
This sets the precedent for that because now, with that being said, this is legislation they will push, and then by them flexing with the military, that's a prelude as to what they're gonna do. And usually, when you get the government powers, they don't give them back. So this is the norm, man. Every time some shit go left, Trump, you know what? Call the military. Call the military. You got enough cops in LA to call that shit, man. You know how big the LAPD is? You don't need the military down there for that, man. But it's all through design. The brother GMS Taza Doc Bun Yahweh the 144, 2 Corinthians 2 and 11. It says, Lest Satan should get an advantage of us, for we're not ignorant of his devices. Absolutely, man. It's nothing
Mhm.
but a device from Satan, bro. Because
Yep.
they know that the American people is that dumb. They don't
Yeah.
do no research and they believe everything that's put in front of them. Like
Right.
Courier said here, he said they interview agents for optics. That's right. Absolutely. Uh what else we got? GMS Yashami. Look up Isaiah 54:15, Isaiah 31 and what's that? Isaiah 31 and 1. But yeah, brother, y'all go with the precepts, man. Because I'll be
Okay,
a couple more videos.
brother.
Con, I got that Zechariah 9. What y'all got?
I just had two more verses on second.
Oh, go ahead, brother.
Okay, it was second Ezra 15 and 18. It says, "For because of their pride, the city shall be troubled, the houses shall be destroyed, and men shall be afraid. A man shall have no pity upon his neighbor, but shall destroy their houses with the sword and spoil their goods because of the lack of bread and for great tribulation." And
Yeah.
those are yeah, you got it, bro.
I was gonna say, yeah, it's gonna get desperate out here. You know, the rational thought that you got of your average neighbor you known for 10, 15 years, that shit gonna go out the window, man. They're gonna be willing to sell their own kids for for a happy meal. You know, like this shit about to get really, really bad out here.
Mhm.
Yeah, that's right. That's right.
Yeah, you got it out.
That was it on the second Ezra.
Okay.
You know what's
Con.
so funny though? Because a lot of the MAGA people are turning against him too.
Bro, yeah. They a lot of them like they been new months ago, but they just couldn't really say nothing because like damn, that nigga turned on them that quick. But it's like now, bro, after the tariffs and all of this shit, they can't say nothing. You know, like this
A
nigga
lot
just
of them.
turned into a demon on him.
Yeah.
Salaki.
Also, they was like a lot of those ICE agents too were not even actual agents. They was deputized citizens, man. A lot of MAGA
Yeah.
people. They was deputizing citizens. That's why a lot of them wore the masks. You
Mhm.
know, because you remember if y'all can pull up that article that I sent when Trump pretty much he signed it June 7th, basically saying that while he deployed the troops, it tells you in there that basically he deputized them.
Yeah.
Shit right there. Department of Defense Security, and the protection of Department of Homeland Security functions. Now, I can't read all that because it's so small, but
Yeah, I'll blow it up.
that's from whitehouse.gov. Y'all can go in there and look at it yourselves if you don't believe.
Yep. Yeah, the subject, it says Department of Defense Security for the protection of Department of Homeland Security function. Says numerous incidents of violence and disorder have recently occurred and threaten to continue in response to the enforcement of federal law by U.S. Immigration and Customs Enforcement and other United States government personnel who are performing federal functions and supporting the faithful execution of federal immigration laws. In addition, violent protests threaten the security of significant damage to federal immigration detention facilities and federal property. To the extent that protests or acts of violence directly inhibit the execution of laws, they constitute a form of rebellion against the authority of the government of the United States. So that's
Right. So yeah,
basically
yeah,
lingo meaning we got killing rights.
yep,
We got rights to just shoot you niggas, you know?
yeah. They're
God,
basically saying whatever they want to do, they got the authority to do it, man.
Right.
God. And when you read that last sentence again, that goes right into the scriptures when it said that there shall be sedition among men. When you look up that word sedition, that lines up exactly with that sentence is saying. As a matter of fact, I can bring that out real quick, Baba Kashah. But this is Second Esdras 15 and 16 again. It says, "For there shall be sedition among men, and invading one another. They shall not regard their kings nor princes, and the course of their actions shall stand in their power." And when you look up sedition, there it is. It says, "Sedition is a crime that involves inciting rebellion or," there's that word right there, rebellion or unrest
Rebellion.
against a government. Did we not just read that?
Right.
Hmm.
Right. They
So this
already
is
know
prophecy
Jake is a
being
rebellious people.
Yeah. But they've been inciting it the whole time, man. They control your algorithms, what you see on the internet, what comes on your phone, all your notifications. They be setting up bricks outside, you know, paying people Craigslist ads.
Yeah, and you know that 12,000 a month looking real nice to some people out there, man.
Yeah,
Oh
they
yeah.
need it.
Oh
Hell
yeah.
yeah.
Oh yeah, you know
Especially if you ain't got nothing to lose, bro, and you could get paid fucking 50 bands a month to just go out and fuck shit up. That's like a job come true to these people, bro.
it.
right.
Shit. Hell.
Especially if
Shit.
you're a migrant or something like that,
Shit. Hey, look,
Hmm.
I'm not gonna bullshit. If I wasn't in the truth and I didn't believe in Yahweh Shemel Shah, shit, ain't no telling, bro.
Jake had a shiesty mag
Don't take that literal, man, because you get somebody simple. See, that brother said he wasn't a go out there and insight. It was a fucking hypothetical statement, man.
right.
God damn, Jake. So you got to clarify shit for niggas.
Yeah.
You can't
Hey, but
joke
it's the
around.
sentiment. It's the sentiment of men. If you have any kind of, like I say, you don't believe in the scriptures. If you have any semblance of a man, you be bugging out against this shit, man. Your
Yeah,
woman's out of order. You working 50 years. You don't have shit to show for it. Y'all should be out in the streets, man. You
Right.
know, because they basically stealing right in front of you and making you pay for it. You
and
Con,
the
know.
crazy part about it is it's our money. That's taxpayers' money, bro.
Yep.
That's taxpayers' dollars, bro. You know how many motherfuckers out there? You cut people. I mean, you probably gonna start at the bare minimum. People that's like supervisors probably gonna get 12,000, but they start at the bare minimum, man. But they gonna hand out more than $1 million because this shit is nationwide, man. So
Yeah.
they're just dumping all the money in the bag and everybody getting hit with the money, man. So if you see niggas pulling up next week with Hellcats and out the blue, like nigga, you ain't got a job. How you get that? I was out there
yep,
throwing bricks, bro. Oh,
Yep.
okay.
But the thing about it too, though, is like, yeah, they start off, they get a lot of these agitators and these provocateurs to get out there, but then that pulls in, that reels in real people. That reels in, people that's actually fed up. I want to protest and riot because they see other people doing it, and then they start taking to the streets.
Hmm.
That's
Well,
why
that's
people do that shit.
well, that's why they're called paid agitators or agent provocateurs. And you provoke something, then
Mm,
it's like a ripple effect, bro. It's like they're trying to incite shit, get the ball rolling. Because see, the proof that these people are so docile, because you got to do that. Like the brother said, if you had a semblance of any testosterone in you, you wouldn't need a provocateur. You'd just be mad out the strength that they're taking your money and giving it to a bunch of people that didn't work for it, and on top of that, taxing you to death, putting the IRS over your fucking head and making you pay for it, that's enough for anybody to say, you know what, I had enough. But you people, you don't have that in you because you have you're slave minded, man.
Mm-hmm.
Kind.
Quick precept, Psalms 94, and I'm gonna start at verses 20. It says, should the throne of iniquity have fellowship with thee, which frame in mischief by law? Yeah, because this is all framed by mischief, and it's all being put in law. I saw something earlier, and I don't know how true it is, but they stated that Trump is looking to rewrite the Constitution. Some shit I came across. You know, a lot of stuff be clickbait, but I wouldn't be surprised if Donald Trump probably he seems like the type that he would literally revise the Constitution because it's been revision. I mean, they took shit and twisted shit so many times over the years. I mean, it's to the point it's even a Bible document anymore. But I can very well see Trump doing that.
Oh yeah.
Well, remember, if it's in wartime, the president ain't gotta leave.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
so
Remember
FDR
FDR?
did.
He served
Yeah,
4 terms,
FDR.
man.
Yep.
Yep.
He served for 16 years, bro.
Yep.
Because
FDR.
of World War II and the Great Depression was going on.
Yep. Yep. FDR. Yep. And it says here, I thought it was 3 terms, but it was 4.
Yeah, it was for 16 years total.
Oh, yeah, 4 terms. But it says they gather themselves together against the soul of the righteous. And who's the righteous? The Israelites. And condemn the innocent blood. But the Lord is my defense, and my power is the rock of my refuge. And he should bring upon them their own iniquity, and should cut them off in their own wickedness. Yea, Yahweh thy power should cut them all off. So this is going to backfire on the elites big time because, see, they're not anticipating the Lord to rise his people up to go up against this damn devil, man.
Mm-hmm.
No, because hey, the men of the Lord, hey, some brothers are gonna get spiritual power, spiritual abilities to do things to push back in certain situations, man. And they ain't banking on that because eventually they gonna come after all of us. It ain't just these
Yeah,
two-third
that's right.
boneheaded Negroes. They gonna come after all of us eventually, man.
Oh yeah.
Yep.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
Yeah, when it come to niggas and white man, we on nobody's side, man. We on the side of the
For real.
Lord.
yeah, yep,
Fuck all that
absolutely.
nigga.
I had
I had
one
a
of you
scripture to
if you
back
had my
you up.
oh
And Job,
oh yeah, yeah. It's like
this is Job 20 and you see, yeah, verse 22. It says, "In the fullness of his sufficiency, he shall be in straits. Every hand of the wicked shall come upon him." So this is basically saying, right when he gets toward the end, when he's about to, it looks like he's about to get everything, he's going to get thrown down. It says, verse 23, when he is about to fill his belly, the Most High shall cast the fury of his wrath upon him, and it shall rain upon him while he is eating. You know?
Yep, yeah. So hey, once he's getting ready to fulfill his new world order, once he thinks he's gonna get the mass chipping process, and hey, that's when the Lord is gonna say, okay, enough is enough. And that's when the Lord gonna hit his ass with that. He gonna hit him with that knockout blow, man.
Mm-hmm.
Because it says he should be in straits. Straits is positions of difficulties. Because if you look at this whole situation, it's sloppy. It's all over the place. It's totally exposed. I mean, it's bust wide open. But he's steady feeding the mainstream. Even the mainstream narratives are even tripping. Like, what the fuck is this dude doing, man? You had that demon Karen Bass that came out and she said they got
man,
agents of
she's a
Rocky.
demon.
Yeah.
She's a straight demon, man.
Yeah, she's complaining, and then you had Maxine Waters that blow up that
Yeah,
demon.
her old ass.
But they're gonna
That
declare
shit.
martial law. Why don't you just go and fucking jump in a casket somewhere, man? Just go croak somewhere, man.
Yeah,
Because you the
Karen
same
Bass looked like an old shriveled up Ninja Turtle. Salaki.
for real, bro. But the thing of it is, but these are the same niggas that was advocating Jake get that juice put in him. Remember?
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
It was pushing that heavy, but now all of a sudden when because they all in on it. Karen Bass, she's funded. Gavin Newsom, they're all funded, bro. They
Yeah,
all funded because if they was not funded, then why the hell do you have this guy, the governor of Missouri, already deployed or he's already
yeah.
activating?
Kehoe, I think.
Yeah, which they changed
Yeah,
like the wind, but he's already activating the National Guard for this shit because they
yeah.
expected something to go down, man.
Mm-hmm.
Mike Kehoe.
Yeah,
That's right.
you got that precept toss.
Yeah, Con. This one is Psalms chapter 32, verses 9. It says, "Be not as the horse or as the mule, which have no understanding, whose mouth must be held in bit and bridle, lest they come near unto thee." And that's really like these niggas. You know, you got that term, you fucking dumb as a donkey. That's you niggas, man. It said, "Be ye not as the horse or the mule, which have no understanding." Right? You seeing all these simple ass Mexicans, out here tearing up their own city. Obviously, when there's a riot in an urban community, niggas gonna hit the Jordan store. Niggas obviously hit up the fucking Jordan store downtown LA. You just wild animals at this point, man. But it says, "Whose mouths must be held in the bit and bridle, lest they come near unto thee," which means they got to be controlled, and that's what the so-called white man gonna try to do. Gonna try to put a burden in you niggas mouth to control you, man. We really just gonna be that sea hip. But it said, this the point. Psalm 32 and 10. "Many sorrows shall be to the wicked, but he that trusteth in the Lord, Yahweh Bashim Shah, mercy shall compass him about." All right. So you people about to get real familiar with sorrows, man. You think only making $900 every 2 weeks on your check was hurting. Imagine when there's no food, man. Because as me and the brother
Yeah.
said in the lesson, Trump is targeting these illegals which work on these farms, which is going to cause a food shortage, man.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
God,
and he's still deporting too. He's targeting, yeah, like y'all said, he's still deporting. ICE ramped up now even more, which is going to
yep.
add more fuel to the fire, because now they're sending tactical units. When you think of a tactical units, that's military action, man. That means they got weapons, they got all types of shit.
Mhm.
God, one of the brothers commented on a comment board from Look Up says all markets are collapsing right now after that attack by the small caps.
Who?
Which
Woo-wee.
makes sense. So
Yep.
that goes right into what we just said, man. The
Yeah, they
market's
about
gonna
to
fucking
crash out.
the housing market is about to go terrible, man. You know how many fucking abandoned homes right now? New homes have been abandoned
Yeah.
because they done fucking deported so many damn Israelites.
Ooh, damn. That's right.
Damn.
And that's
So,
where they targeting. Because you
yep.
know what? I saw a video of Northern Kingdom. Them niggas stayed up on the roof and ICE rolled up. They say they refused to get off the roof because if they came down, the niggas gonna lock them up.
Oh,
Yeah. God. Yeah, this
Mm.
shit held together by duct tape, bro. They ain't think this shit through out at all.
Hmm.
Yes, sir.
You
Hey,
know.
quick precept. This is the book of 2nd Ezra 16, and I'm gonna start at verses 67. It says, "Behold, Yahweh himself is the judge. Fear him and leave off from your sins and forget your iniquities and meddle no more with them forever. So shall the heavenly Father lead you forth and deliver you from all trouble." Now, is Issachar obeying the heavenly Father right now?
No.
No,
Hell no. Hell
no.
no.
Of course
Because they,
not.
they had the videos coming out earlier about a lot of Northern Kingdom asking for the so-called black man that come out and help them, man.
Yeah.
You know? But y'all been acting white the whole time, man. Like how you acting white and they talking shit about you because you a nigga too. You
Yeah.
know?
Yeah.
All you gotta do is repent, man. You
That's
know?
it. That's it. I was talking to my supervisor today, man. I was picking his brain, man. I'm like, what's up with the funding for the department? What's up? Because she was like, the director was looking for funding. So, and I'm like, well, do we have adequate funding now? She said, so far, but she said in the immediate future, I don't know what to say because she said we don't know. So yeah, it's gonna hit home real soon, bros. Prepare to get them
Huh.
emails one day. Hey, look, we closing down the
Downsizing.
department,
Yep.
downsizing.
Downsizing.
Hey,
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Out
yeah,
of there.
man. Don't buy no high value shit, man. Is all I can tell you, man.
That's right.
But it says here, "For behold, a burning wrath of a great multitude is kindled over you, and they should take away certain of you and feed you, being idle with things offered to idols." Man, that's gonna be that MOT busy, man.
Mm-hmm.
Because I'm looking at this video. It says ICE to deploy tactical units in major U.S. cities as protests spread nationwide. You got Los Angeles, New York, Chicago, Milwaukee, Austin, Texas, and Denver.
Mm-hmm.
Matter of fact,
damn.
yeah. So it's not looking too good, man. Lord's will. I pray this is the precedent for the entire summer. I pray that they. I hope this shit really hits the fan, man.
Yeah, I don't want to wrap this up.
Yeah, for real. And it says here, "And they that consented to them should be had in derision and reproached and trodden underfoot. For there
Mm-hmm.
should be in every city and in In the next cities, a great insurrection. It says a great insurrection upon those that fear Yahweh, and they should be like madmen, sparing none, but still spoiling and destroying those that fear the Lord. It says, for they should waste and take away their goods and cast them out of the houses, and they should be known who are my chosen, and they should be tried as gold in the fire. So this is basically saying that eventually shit gonna get real. Like right now, it's just like a stir up. It's just a lot of people, a lot of confusion, and it's a lot of putting pieces into play. But like we mentioned, it's gonna come a time, especially when they roll on you Southern Jakes, live ammunition will be in fact, because things are gonna get so intensified here to the point if you even look like you're looting, the troops gonna have the order to shoot you down on sight.
Yeah,
And when
Yep.
you
yeah.
shoot,
Round
and
paper
when
bag.
yeah, and when they start shooting you down on sight, that's gonna send a ripple effect through Babylon, and that's when you niggas are gonna wake up and know that war has been declared on you via
Right.
the prophets. We've been saying that, man.
I see right now in these protests, you still got women out here. You know,
Yeah,
that tells you the level of seriousness. Look, when this shit really pop up, you ain't gonna see no motherfucking women.
Right.
They're
Right.
gonna be gone. They're gonna be hiding somewhere. They're not gonna be walking around on the sidewalk. Right, like this is turning up, but it ain't got to the point where we just read where it's gonna be kill on sight. Because these
hmm
women are not just gonna be walking around, man. You
no,
know, they're gonna need a man in their day.
absolutely. Y'all brothers got other precepts? Let them roll because we got some on the comment board too. If you want to get some off.
You got something, y'all? What's up?
Kind of, I've been holding this second. This is Zechariah Salaki.
Go,
Yeah,
you go
bring
ahead,
that.
bro. I'm gonna bring that out for you. You got it.
Oh, you got it?
Zechariah, we're going to Zechariah 9.
Yeah, yeah, like verse 12.
Okay.
Yeah, Baba Kusha, can somebody hold Zechariah 14 and somebody get the book of Luke 19 and start at verses 41, I believe.
Con, I'll bring that out. This is Zechariah 9 and verse 12. It says, turn you to the stronghold, ye prisoners of hope. Even today do I declare that I will render double unto thee.
Mm-hmm.
When I have
Yes,
bent Judah for me, filled the bowl with Ephraim, and raised up thy sons, O Zion, against thy sons, O Greece, and made thee as a sword of a mighty man.
right. So the stronghold is going to be the remnant, the men that have the name of the Lord. All right, because eventually all of these northern kingdom they calling on Maria or Mary or whatever. They're gonna have to let that shit go, man. The elect are gonna wake up out of all of this, and they're gonna have to come and basically repent. You know, because
Yep.
these are not prisoners of hope. These are just agitators out here being paid. You know,
Khan. Khan. Yep. Saying judges, go and call upon the gods and have them to deliver you. You know,
hmm
because the northern kingdom, they are far from Yahweh Bashim Yahweh Shai. That's in Hosea, the 7th chapter. And also it goes
Turn
into how Ephraim should bring his children forth to the murderer. You
to the
northern
murder.
kingdom, yeah, you didn't set yourselves up because a lot of you classify with being white. And one thing about you Latino women too is that you really believe that you're better than so-called black women or so-called black men because you come to America or whatever, where you come from, especially them Latina chicks that be in like Omaha from Nebraska, bro. I work with a couple of them, man, and I mean they cool, but they got more like an Edomite tent to them because they grew up around them Edomites, man, and them Gadites. So they come around Jake and they feel they feel better, feel good about themselves. Like me and my supervisor was talking, and we was talking about one of the chicks works under my department head, and my supervisor was like, "Yeah, she don't know what to do. This is what people do when they get a little bit of power." And she's a Latina chick, because she never had no power before, and she's a young chick at that. So, her mindset, she's just like, "Damn, I got all this power," but low key in the spirit, she just looking for a nigga to pop her, man.
right,
That's it.
right. Because that's their power. Bust it open for a real man. Because you don't really have it yourself, man. That's what the women gonna find out the hard way. All this independent shit, this shit about to go out the window, man.
Oh,
Come on, you got
bitches.
a job. A job ain't gonna mean fuck all, but you gonna be dumpster diving.
Right.
Yeah, yeah.
Without a man.
Y'all hear this
We ain't
now?
taking
The black
applications right now.
the black woman talking about going 50-50 with the so-called black man now, and then you
Yeah,
got
nah.
this. Yeah, you
That
got
was
this.
yesterday's press.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. And you got this broad Cardi B talking about I'm not a feminist anymore. Like, shut up, man.
They fry that shit.
Yeah, like Be quiet.
Bitch.
Yeah. They say in 12 to 18 months, I'm giving it 6 to 12 months. They said the price of box is gonna be 50% off.
Oh man,
Which
that's too much.
technically none of you women should be charging for that used up shit because all you are used up. Your
Right.
best thing to do is to try to find a man and shut your damn mouth and come up under him humbly and submit yourselves and keep your mouth shut. That'd be the best thing you can do in this time. Cause ain't no
Bro.
man taking your shit, man.
That's right.
You got more right. Who's reading?
Y'all what's
Yeah,
up?
That
It's
was
me.
verse 9.
yeah.
I mean chapter 9.
Chapter 9, that was verse 13. I can read the next verse. It's verse 14. It says, And Yahweh shall be seen over them, and his arrow shall go forth as a lightning, and Yahweh shall blow the trumpet, and shall go with whirlwinds of the south.
Yeah. So what that basically means, when the northern kingdom get up with the southern kingdom, that's the same time period we about to get the hell out of here. Okay. When them chariots show up, okay, that's the time the missile's gonna show up. So when you see the northern kingdom and the southern kingdom, calling out to Jake for help, that's a sign that we're at the end of this thing, man. You
Mhm.
know?
Yeah, kind of. And there's a saying: things happen in the spiritual world before the real world, and so that's
Yeah.
how it is now because the truth
Uh,
came first. The truth came with that real unification spirit, accurately and directly through the scriptures. But now that's trickling down to the world. Now, Jake, that's not even, let's say, in the truth. They having a realization of who their counterpart or who their brother is, man. So
mhm.
even though they doing it in ignorance to fight against fucking whitey, but they still doing it and they realizing, hey, we really the same people in the same condition.
Yeah.
And another
Yep.
thing to keep a watch out for, too, is what they've been doing with these protests with Issachar is they've got this, black and brown stand up, comments going up about how so-called black people start supporting our brothers, our Mexicans. That sentiment is starting to increase really, really
Hmm.
high as far as standing with them. So with
Yeah.
Trump made all these different immunities for these police officers, all it's going to take is some more police brutality mixed in,
Mm.
shooting up
Mm-hmm.
Jake. They're already fucking up Jake's free benefits with the Section 8 and shit. So you're going to have the black woman starting to protest. Once she start getting brutalized and shit in the streets and that shit start getting televised and broadcast, you're going to have so-called Mexicans and the Negroes simultaneously getting fucked up.
Yeah.
So they're going to
Yep.
start rising up and they're going to start, teaming up with each other, man.
Yeah.
That's right.
That's
Once
spiritual, bro.
Judah
That's
get
the
his
spirit.
lazy ass up, that's gonna be a wrap.
And it's the spirit, man, because it's throughout history, that's what it's always been. Northern Kingdom fucked up. They go off, get in captivity, and then what? They start fucking with the Southern Kingdom, putting them in captivity. They both was in slavery together.
Mm-hmm.
So we can definitely see how this shit is starting to build up that prophecy of the two becoming one stick, man.
Yep. That's right.
Yeah, pull that in Zechariah 14. Also, it's a scripture in Jeremiah 51. I believe it goes into that they oppressed Judah and Israel and Judah together, and they held them fast and refused to let them go. That may be Jeremiah 51, and I think it may be in 51. I'll find it.
Yeah, I think that is
Yeah,
Jeremiah
oppressed
51.
together. What
Yep.
verse you want in verse 14, chapter 14?
Zechariah 14, start at the top.
Zechariah 14:1. It says, Behold, the day of the Lord Jehovah cometh, and thy spoil shall be divided in the midst of thee. For I will gather all nations against Jerusalem to battle, and the city shall be taken, and the
Mhm.
houses rifled, and the women ravished.
Yep. Now, when you go into the New Living Testament, that word rabbis goes into great. All right, because
Mm-hmm.
there's going to be a mass purging on our people. That's why it's a good idea to get back in those purge movies, man. Especially like the purge election year. No, purge anarchy, that was good. And then you got the first purge, and then you got the forever purge. And the last two purge movies, they were targeting the Jakes. First purge, they were targeting Ephraim and Judah, and the second, in the forever purge, they was targeting Issachar or the northern kingdom. And that purge led to a whole ripple effect of Babylon being under purge orders, man. So that's the time we coming in, especially when the foreign troops, because a lot of these agent provocateurs in the form of these troops, they can be foreign military too. We just don't know. Just because they got a United States badge on, that doesn't mean that they're not UN troops. They can very well be disguised, man. Because the way it's looking, they're gonna have to deploy those reserves they got that came over here in 2023, the provocateurs. Because if this tension escalates with Iran and Israel, then these National Guard, they're gonna get that call. Marines the first to go. So he gonna have to pull the Marines back and send them over there to the Middle East. And then they're gonna have to bring up reserves here because people are gonna be just going batshit crazy.
Yep.
So he really just fucked himself, man.
Yep.
He checkmated himself. He put himself in the corner. You you don't even have the military power to fight another world war, bro.
Nah, it's gonna be
So
straight missiles.
yeah.
You know. But Zechariah 14:2 in the NLT, it says, I will gather all the nations to fight against Jerusalem. The city will be taken, the houses looted, and the women raped.
Yep. House is looted and the women raped. Okay. So hey, that's another thing for you women. You're getting ready to be purged, man. Okay, they're getting ready to come in your homes, your little nice plush homes, your Section 8 homes, kick in the door, separate you from your kids, probably put your man in the spirit world. They're gonna take you and they're gonna have their way with you, man. They're gonna
Yep.
put you in these concentration camps and they just gonna run through you. Because see, one thing about these UN troops, they have heavy rape allegations against them, and they sit back and they watch you women twerk and do all
Mm-hmm.
this sexual activity, the sexual deviancy. They watch all that, and they're just sitting back and they're salivating over you. They already got you
Right.
picked out.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
these heathens got an urge for brown sugar, man.
Oh hell yeah!
Oh yeah.
These niggas who be working in the gas station, they be wanting Keisha, man.
Uh-huh.
And Elon be gang raping bitches too, man.
Oh, big time.
Hmm.
They be
God,
doing that shit in the UK heavy, boy.
yeah, he be-
Yeah.
Catch a bitch on the
you, yeah,
subway.
yeah. Hey, man, this shit gonna get freaky too, man.
Oh
You know,
yeah.
because people like that sexual deviancy, that's a real demon that's on these people, man. So don't be surprised if you Jacob Trouble, they gonna be out there in the street with that shit, man. And
Mm-hmm.
guess what? Ain't nobody gonna help you, women.
I'm
Yeah.
definitely not.
Yeah. And a lot of these hoes live alone too, especially these hoes that make a little bread. Cause they got these videos they put out. They call them like a day in the life. They pretty much just record what they do. You know, they go to their little corporate job, they go back home, make dinner or some shit, and
Right.
they all single, got they live by themselves. You know what I'm saying? No man's around.
Yep.
So like you hoes is
Yep.
fucked.
Yep.
Right.
Hey, these fucking moles too, man.
Mm-hmm.
These moles, they hey man.
Yep.
Yeah, and they got a whole society, American society, that's been over sexualized, and you got men that's deprived sexually too.
Oh
Meanwhile, they feel like they're being teased because you got these women out here, they're naked, man.
yeah.
Ever since they started this trend with this yoga pants, you got your average everyday woman, what her ass and coochie looks like without her clothes being fully off because she's
Mm-hmm.
wearing skin tight, revealing clothing. She got half her ass cheeks out. They got this new fashion trend now where women is wearing shirts that expose their under boobs, and
Yeah,
they walk
yeah.
around like that, like the brother said, and they making TikTok videos and Instagram videos, posting pictures of themselves, getting a bunch of likes, curving motherfuckers left and right.
Yeah.
So all them people that's been getting, teased, they feel like they've been getting teased, they itching for a day where there's no law to protect these hoes, and they gonna do what they want to do.
Yeah.
Right.
Damn.
You think these deprived ass men are gonna do? Because you got niggas out here buying bath soap, Sydney Sweeney,
Out
and
of there.
Damn.
what the fuck you
That's
think
true.
these simps gonna do? Because a lot of these some of these niggas got real demons on them, man. If you buying a bitch bath soap, all types of shit like that, when this social media, when that OnlyFans and all that shit collapse, man, we
Yeah.
just scriptures
Right. Any bitch that fucking resemble they celebrity crush is rat. You is through. You through.
done.
Oh, big time. Big
Kardashians.
time. I
Yeah.
always say
You
these
got it.
OnlyFans, all of these niggas that's buying you Teslas and sending you 10K with some feet, they got your IP address a long time ago, man. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? Like,
God.
like these dark web niggas, like they know where you live. They ain't had the right conditions yet. You
Yeah.
know, but
Hey,
they
read
gonna pull
read
up.
that verse 2 again. It's like,
This is Zechariah 14:2. It says, I will gather all the nations to fight against Jerusalem. The city will be taken, the houses looted, and the women raped.
mhm.
Half the population will be taken into captivity, and the rest will be left among the ruins of the city.
That's them camps, man. So some Jake is gonna be free maneuvering, but hey, some Jake gonna be locked down, man. And
Mhm.
being honest, us as prophets, we don't know which side we gonna fall on. We could be locked up, we could be mingling. But whatever situation you find yourself in these times to come, you gotta keep pushing the name of Yahweh Bashim Yahshua and keep believing, man.
That's
Mhm.
right. Con. Con. This from the brother GMS Tazadak Bar. It says, Salakia, brother Tazadak. Tazadak. Dahaban Yahweh. I can't really see. This font is so small. But it says, let's see if your idols can save you. Isaiah 57:13, who live in Testament. It says, let's see if your idols can save you when you cry to them for help. It says, why puff on the wind can knock them down if you just breathe on them and they fall over. But whosoever will uh, trust me, should inherit the land and possess my holy mountain, man. All right. That's a beautiful, that's a heavy precept because Jake do trust in idols, trust in themselves, they trust in their spirituality and all this other stuff, but none of that is gonna come into effect once this hell break loose, man. Because see, the Lord is getting ready to make a heavy chess move out here, and it's gonna catch a lot of people off guard. Yeah, people are
Kind
feeling the effects, they're feeling the crunches of it, but if something big is gonna happen, it's gonna make the jaws drop, man, and we gonna be like, oh shit. Wait,
Mhm.
wait till these plagues start showing up, man. Wait till these supernatural plagues start hitting Babylon, and you wake up with
Yep.
unexplained eclipses, like that whole ordeal they saw in Canada with that red orb in the sky. People are like, oh, that's AI. I don't know, bro. It
yeah,
seems kind of eerie, but wait till you start seeing shit like that over here, and here you got 12 o'clock noonday, but it's still midnight.
yeah. Hey, us here in GMS Kansas City, we can confirm that that red orb is really a chariot, man.
Yep,
That is real.
yep.
Mhm.
I had a precept if you were still going on the Zechariah.
Yeah, go ahead, bro.
Hey, read 2 and 3 together.
This is Zechariah chapter 14, verse 2. It says, for I will gather all nations against Jerusalem to battle, and the city shall be taken, and the houses rifled, and the women ravished, and the half of the city shall go forth into captivity, and the residue of the people shall not be cut off from the city. Then shall the Lord Jehovah go forth and fight against those nations, and as when he fought in the day of battle.
All right, so you got to see the picture that's being painted, man, because those two precepts line up perfectly with Second Edges 13 when it talks about Yahweh when Yahweh Shah returns, man. So all these nations are going to be fighting against us, and more specifically, they're going to be fighting in World War III in the Valley of Jehoshaphat, and then Yahweh Bashim Shah is going to show up because it's saying verse 3 and fight against them. The Lord Himself is going to fight against these nations, man. This is why this is such a major buildup because you haven't seen the full extent of the Lord's army, man. Yahweh Shai, he gave you a preview when he said, don't you think I can call up these legions of angels? Well, guess what? Those legions are actually going to show up and obliterate everything, man.
Mm-hmm. Right.
Con, right, brother. Your pa. Bro, I know I wasn't tripping, man. I was looking on my computer. I don't know what's going on, but it says rain slash snow in the forecast. I'm like, nah, bullshit. What the fuck?
Hey,
Snow. Yeah,
I
right.
seen snow in May before.
Yeah,
In June
yeah.
be wild.
Yeah, but that could have just been like a forecast error or something. Nah, I'm looking at the forecast. Ain't nothing in it, but it says out of control Oregon wildfire forces evacuations and highway closures as gusty wind challenges firefighters. God damn. Shit. So yeah, this place, Babylon is on fire, man.
Yep.
Not looking too
Gonna
good
get
for
worse.
average Babylon. This is a 17-minute video, but I don't think we're gonna get around to it. But I may just have to put it in another lesson because I'm gonna actually do a little bit more on this in a sit down. Well, in a regular lesson tomorrow, I'm gonna actually go in on this, so I'll say that. But we'll wrap up the last precepts. Matthews 24 and 31. It says, "And he should send his angels with the great sound of a trumpet, and they should gather together his elect from the four winds, from one end of heaven to the other." So yeah, the Lord is getting ready to gather his elect, man. As all hell
Mhm.
break loose, the Lord is getting ready to, we're getting ready to have that supernatural intervention because we're gonna need that help. We're gonna need divine and spiritual power to get through what's coming because this whole society is getting ready to, they're getting ready to erupt in chaos, man. I mean, all
Mhm.
Kind,
around us. This ain't gonna just be inner city or a downtown thing. This shit is gonna spread to the regular neighborhoods you living in.
Countryside. Yeah.
Yeah. You know, the crib you live in, hey, motherfucker may try to throw a Molotov cocktail through the window and burn a building down, man. So we living in them times, bro. Ain't nothing really too safe. So
That's right.
yeah. But kind anybody else got any more precepts?
Yeah, I got one.
Yeah, go ahead, bro.
Daniel 12:1, it says, and at that time shall Michael stand up, the great prince, like it, which standeth for the children of thy people, and there should be a time of trouble, such as never was since there was a nation, even to that same time. And at that time thy people shall be delivered, everyone that shall be found written in the book. You know, so we in a time where, you know, this is about to be the worst time in human history, man. You know, everything that's happened on the planet Earth, nothing is going to compare to this time, man. It's going to be an economic collapse paired with world war. You know, we can't forget the pestilences because they talking about C-19 all over again and shit. You know, so the Lord is going to have all of these things, like it tells you in Revelation 18. All of these things are going to occur in one day, man. One time frame. You know, and this is where we're going to be delivered. All right, you know, we're going to be delivered in this shit, man, or through it.
Yep. Yeah, Khan. Yep. Going back to what you were saying earlier, also in Isaiah 11:13, it says, "And the envy of Ephraim should depart, and the adversaries of Judah should be cut off. And Ephraim should not envy Judah, and Judah should not vex Ephraim." So, like you mentioned earlier, bro, the tribes are getting ready to come back together because, you know, all that tension they had, they getting ready to realize that they have a common enemy. Like, wait a minute, man, all that black on brown crime shit is bullshit. We the same people. We have a common enemy. And this goes into it. It says, "But they shall fly upon the shoulders of the Philistine towards the west, and they shall spoil them of the east together, and they shall lay their hand upon Edom and Moab and their children, and the children." And hold on, I think it's a little bit more. "And of Ammon shall obey them." So we getting ready to fuck them up, man, because going to Ezekiel 25:12, it says that the Lord should do in Edom according to his anger, and he's gonna lay the hands of he's gonna use Israel to put his hands upon Edom, and they should do according to the Lord's anger. So when the Lord put the spirit on us, man, you know, it really goes into the elect, because we know the 2/3. I mean, they're gonna get busy and they're gonna do what they do, but overall, the 2/3 are gonna be totally destroyed because they're wicked. But it's gonna come a time that the Lord is gonna allow, you know, the men of the Lord to you know, get in on some of this shit, you know, when push comes to shove. So, you know, hey, we gonna get that power, Lord's will. And when we get through new bodies, shit, all bets are off. That's when we really gonna have fun.
That's right.
You know. So yeah, man. Anybody got any more precepts?
I got one last one.
Yeah,
It's
go
cool.
ahead.
This is real quick. This Revelation 18:20. It says, "Rejoice over her, thou heaven, and ye holy apostles and prophets." That's speaking of us. "Ye holy apostles and prophets, for the Most High had avenged you on her. And a mighty angel took up a stone like a great millstone and cast it into the sea, saying, Thus with violence shall the great city Babylon be thrown down." See, with violence. That's what's happening. That's what brother been showing on the screen all day. "Thus with violence shall the great city Babylon be thrown down, and shall be found no more at all."
Yeah, yeah. Hey, the scripture says saints should take the kingdom, man. So yeah,
Okay.
getting ready to be a transition of power. So, you know, just the brothers out there, you know, stay prayed up, stay vigilant, you know, keep your eyes on the news, man. You know, filter out what you need to filter out, and stay prayed up, man. You know, pray that the Lord come and deliver us, because, you know, things getting ready to take a turn for the left. So with that, we're gonna close out, give all praises and glory and honor that's due to Yahweh,
Yahweh,
Bashem, Yahweh Shai,
Shai,
Bashir Kakadash. Double honors to the apostles and elders, a great millstone. Peace and blessings and salutations to the whole elect. Lord's will, you were edified doing this lesson. I want to say Kwame Asharala,
Y'all
Shalom,
Shalom,
Baba Ball,
Baba.
Shalom.